My top boss addiction is part of the things that destroy the life of a man as well as his purpose. I want to share about my journey with these addictions. I have been addicted to a lot of issues and I will go straight to them. Number one, alcohol and cigarette. Basically, drinking and smoking. I was really drinking on a daily basis and I was doing strong alcohol brands and they really affected me. How did I decide to change? I actually admitted that this was actually a problem and decided to change my friends. You know, shifting from one place to another actually helped me because I had to now lose the friends that I had. And so changing the environment was another aspect that helped me so much. I was also addicted to smoking, cigarettes, and the likes. I used to take all of those in a single day or every day together with alcohol as well as cat chewing mirror. I would always have those. In fact, I remember there are some days where I would refer to my wonderful days as the weekends or the happy days, you know, as rest days, as holiday days. I would have all of these in my hands at the same time, you know, and then I used to have a lot of hangovers which affected me, and I even could not concentrate on anything. Now, what did I do in terms of helping myself get better so that I may not continue thinking about this? I learned new skills and I was very, very much into acting, drama. You know, we started a new acting group back then when I was in church, and I had to edit the videos myself because we were also recording the videos. This took much of my time. If you're a beginner video editor, you know that for you to learn everything by yourself, you must put a lot of focus, energy, and time into that. And that really took away a lot of my time. And I'm so grateful because you know what? It took me out of all of those challenges that I had when I was into smoking as well as drinking. Now, sugar at number four really took me a lot of time to quit because I had really a bad addiction when it came to this point here. Sugar. I could not get myself off of sugar when it comes to what I eat in the morning, during the mid morning, lunchtime, throughout the day. I really consumed a lot of sugar, and I knew that this was going to wreak havoc in my health because my father, my own dad, was taken out by diabetes, and it can also take me out. I'm not an exception. I had already started experiencing pre diabetic conditions or symptoms, and therefore I had to quit sugar. And sugar is a great culprit, and I knew that I had to get rid of it. So the first thing that helped me was to admit my problems, admit that indeed I'm hooked on sugar, and that was the most important step, that I admitted that indeed I'm addicted to sugar. You know, most of the time I used to deny that, and therefore I would not come up with a solution to that problem. The first step that I made or I took that helped me was to admit that indeed I was addicted to sugar. And then I set a goal. How do I overcome this problem? Now, the end goal is to quit it. All right. So every day I was working towards it. I was working towards it. And therefore I failed a number of times, failed, and I would always admit that I am weak. I have this problem, but I have a long term goal, an end goal, which is to quit this sugar. And therefore, currently, as we are speaking, I'm off sugar. Now, when it comes to food, I know probably you may be wondering how comes you are addicted to food? You know, what does that really mean? When I say I was addicted to food, I was eating like almost every time until I would feel like my stomach would burst. You know, I would eat a lot of food, I would eat a lot of nuts, you know, and I up to today struggle with nuts. They bring a lot of issues afterwards, but now Back to my point number four, where I admit my problems and I admit that I am weak. I always admit that I am very weak, and therefore I know the cues. For instance, there are places that when I pass by, I know I can be triggered to get back into this addiction. I know there are times in a day where I can be very tempted to have these nuts here under this food, and therefore I work so hard to ensure that I overcome them. Every time that there is that desire in me or that want in me to snack, I refuse it and I force myself. It is hard, but I work so hard to ensure that I overcome it. Also, I have set certain times of day when I'm supposed to be eating. I only eat one meal a day, and I ensure that during that time I eat that. And once I'm done, I fight all the forces. Sometimes I even lock my door with the padlock and tell my mind, you're not getting out of this house to go and get any food. If you're going to die, you are dying here, but you will not get more food until tomorrow. So I find that by programming my mind that way, the entire day, the rest of the day, I will be focused on production. And therefore, that act of locking the door with a padlock is telling my mind that, you know what, no going out. So let us just not focus on food or getting food, because this person has decided that he's not getting out and he has locked us in here. It's just like a person who is in prison, and they survey and see that there's no chance of getting out of this place. Then they settle their mind and know that we are not going out. Or even a child, if you lock a child somewhere, they just know, or if you have told them some certain words, they know you have been grounded. The same happens with the animals. You tell the animals sit, and this is also a concept that I learned. But again, I came to understand that it is difficult, and I work so hard. That is why I say that I am weak. I always admitted that I am weak, and therefore I work towards improving or bettering myself, and that is why I overcome everyday challenge. Now, again, when it comes to food, because this is something that has really chased me up to today, what I normally say is that I used to push myself so hard or be very, very strict with myself, even talk to myself on the mirror and be like, you will not, you should not, using those words. And I discovered that I was like strict to the mind or the brain, and therefore it will resent me, it will rebel against those words. And therefore I decided to use a different trick. And this trick is whereby I am very kind to my brain, very kind with my mind. I tell it, you know what, John, this meal is the best meal ever. This is the most nutritious meal. And when you have it, you are going to be strong. When you go for your tomorrow morning run, you'll be very active, you'll be very energetic. And you know what? I always love running when I have a lot of energy, or when I'm working out in the gym. I love to have energy. So before I have my meal, I say it to myself, John, you will have a lot of energy because this is the most nutritious meal that you are having. It can even take you for 2 days because you are eating what is a great meal. And that one helps me to be satisfied with that particular meal that I'm having for that day. When it comes to number six, the issue of sex is something that really, really pulled me down, because I remember there's an ex that I had at that time, and she was asking me, if at all I denied you sex for a week, how would you react? I was like, a week? When you talk about a day or two, then I don't think there is any relationship here. That is how addicted I was. And I worked myself so much here. So, like I said, at number five is just setting goals, that this is what I want to achieve. And with admission that indeed I am weak and indeed this is a problem, that is the first important step. Another thing is I establish a routine. Now, the most important thing about a routine is that it acts as a backbone to help you in avoiding all of this, because you know that between 6 to 7 or between 6 to 9 in the morning, what am I supposed to be doing at that time? Is it having my morning coffee? Is it preparing for work? Is it going to the gym? And therefore, these addictions will not have a chance at that window. You know, if you have that window from 6 to 9, there is something that you're doing. I'm at the gym. All right. So I'm not eating, I'm not having sugar or any drugs. Okay. And you have to stick with that routine. All right. So that is where by now, when you know that tomorrow I'm supposed to do A, B, C, D, you even prepare your mind. And by preparing your mind, the good thing is that even when that time comes, the mind knows that I'm not supposed to be doing sugar or cut. I'm supposed to be doing A, B, C, D according to routine. Number 7, we have affirmations. I used to affirm myself that I don't eat bad foods. I don't eat sugar because sugar is bad for me. You know, I eat the right foods. In fact, sometimes I would call out my name, John. You know, we eat food. So it's like it's a meeting. You know, I'm having a meeting in my house. John, we don't eat bad foods. John, you know, we don't eat sugar. And so that voice gets into my subconscious mind. And therefore, that is how I will overcome all these addictions. Another important aspect is consistency. Taking a day at a time has really helped me. You know, I don't even plan about tomorrow. I don't plan about a week from now when it comes to fighting these addictions. I say, I have today. So, today, what is that thing that is really pushing me? Is it sugar? Am I craving for sugar? All right. I don't care about tomorrow. I don't care about what I'll crave tomorrow. The thing that is pushing me right now in terms of cravings is sugar. Now, how can I overcome that? Like I've said, I always lock the door, I put the padlock on, and I place some my keys where I normally place them and condition my mind that you're not getting out, you're not going to get sugar, you're not overeating, we are done, we are satisfied, and all that. So every time that I have that consistency, it really helps me. But again, the most important thing about quitting is definitely the results. What are the results so far? I quit drinking, I quit smoking, and I found a new passion, you know. So new passion back then was acting, and then I also found something else after some time acting in the church. I decided to now venture into business and take that business online, what I normally do at our company, Top Heights Electricals and Electricians, whereby I talk to electricians. So I love talking to electricians because I'm an electrician myself, and it is my passion when I talk about electrical installations, when I talk about solar, when I talk about standby generators and all that. I really enjoy that as my passion. Now I'm also responsible because I am able to pay my bills. I'm able to sustain myself, buy my own clothes, as well as be able to afford my meals, unlike previously when I would depend on someone. I am focused. I'm very energetic. You know, back then I was low of energy. I was always tired, dragging my feet. Nowadays, I have a lot of energy even when walking. I can feel the power in me. And then I'm definitely inspiring the world, the electricians who watch me, the electricians who consume my content. And I do that through our YouTube channel, which is Top Heights Electricals and Electricians PLC. And I also established a company, registered it, and even incorporated it. And through this company, I'm able to get business and run a lot of services that we offer at Top Heights Electricals and Electricians. And looking back, I see that when I was hooked on all these addictions, I was really not responsible. I could not imagine that I will come up with something substantial, even talking to people online, a special person like yourself here online. That has been my journey, but I can say this, that it is not over. So it is like I'm in war. Every day there are battles. Probably today I am battling with sugar craving. Tomorrow I may be battling with food craving. Every day, those battles I must win because at the end of the day, I have a war. And this war is to definitely stay out or stay clear of all of these addiction. That is the war that I'm on. And the only person that I'm competing with in each and every day is myself to be better than what I was yesterday. If you are struggling with anything or you want to comment about an aspect on your life or probably want to get in touch with me, you may probably be suffering or having an issue or a challenge in these addictions or any other, and you would want just an encouragement from me, let me know in the comment section, and I will be glad to reach out and discuss more with you and even help you out of it if I'm in a position to. If you have not subscribed to my channel, which is John Gatehi Podcast, kindly subscribe. I will really appreciate. Goodbye for now. My name is John Gatehi.